we have you, and welcome to the Early Birds Club.
Thank you. It's like a pleasure to be here.
Of course, a small, brief about the Early Birds Club. So, the Early Birds Club stands with every entrepreneurs, every startup people, and every co-founders who have a dream, who have an idea for making the society in a better way. We help them in regards of mentorship. We help them in regards of counseling, guide, and of course with startup resources, with ample amount of knowledge. We do have products for startups and all. We do have many personals who are working with startups, and of course who has started the startups. So we work with like-minded people. It's called Obstacle to Opportunity Drive, where we have an interview with that kind of personnel, and that personnel has an forte in like public speaking. So they put us the questions, they put us some of the obstacles that they face in daily amount of time in markets, and of course in their personal and professional growth. So we collect that bunch of questions, and we have an interview with the experts, with professionals regarding the solutions. How can be solved? What is the exact root cause of that problem? Welcome to O2 Drive, and of course we are welcoming you with heartfully, and yes, please go ahead. We want to know something about you.
All right. First of all, thank you very much that you took the time, and I think what you mentioned, obstacle to opportunity, what a great phrase, because that is really what we are set here on earth to do. I think is to solve obstacles, and the problems, the obstacles we have are what gives us opportunities and other people opportunities. So I think that's the whole process you have. We have an obstacle, we turn it into an opportunity. If we didn't have any obstacles, there wouldn't be any opportunities. So great phrase. But yeah, a little bit about myself. Well, yeah, I live in Denmark. I have 3 kids, twins on 4, just turned 4, and a daughter on 7. I have a wife. And besides that, what I do is I help people present on stage, and now also way more online, because obviously with the COVID, things are changing, and I think that's going to be the future. Like me and you talking, this is just amazing. We have the whole world as our playground. We don't need to jump on a plane. Sure, it might be a little bit more engaging to be there physically, but on the other hand, you have way more opportunity to reach out to more people, impact more people. So that's what I help people with. And I think a lot of countries in the world, we aren't taught how to speak in public. There's a lot of work in school, written work, but when do we learn to speak? And that is crucial. To be able to speak there are so many instances in life where we need to be able to speak well. Job interviews. If you have a conversation with a colleague during lunch, maybe you don't consider that public speaking, but sure, you got to interact with that person, talk, and obviously from stage, can you impact a massive amount of people? Are you a leader? You need to be able to inspire them, and you are not going to inspire them through an email. Sure, that can help, but we need to feel you from the heart, that you really mean this, and tell those stories. So that's what I help people with, and it's a lot of fun to do that. Yeah.
Actually, we are also having fun, like speaking and sharing the insights. I'm pretty much looking forward to this interview for the vast majority of our viewers. The first question that we want to know, that how was the journey? Like how you came to know about this public speaking is so important. The public dealing and interaction is so much important that you have to be a forte of your own, a brand of yourself, that you should crack the ice breaking between 2 people or 3 people, or like the stage fear. So what's the journey about that? What was the main aspect you learned through this journey?
My own journey was that I was in a job, I wasn't satisfied, I didn't really like it, spending most of the day in front of the computer. But what I did like every now and then was doing workshops and just being with people. And then I just stumbled across a club called Toastmasters. It's a non-profit organization. You can come and you can give speeches from 5 to 7 minutes typically, and you get some feedback from the other members. It's really great to get started, but you're not going to be a pro coming there, but it's a great place to start. And that's why I kind of got my interest. I could see, wow, there were some really good speakers that just touched me in another way. And back then, that was 2010. and YouTube was, I wasn't using YouTube like that. It was more written thing. So having access to a great speech was not so common like today. You just do a couple of clicks and you can have an amazing speech, pay nothing for it. So for me, that was like an eye-opener. Really? There are people that good? And then I started to investigate it, started going to seminars with professional speakers, and that was on a whole other level. Like, wow, you can be blown away. 3 days in a seminar. The truth was, when I started, I didn't believe in myself. I had a dream that I wanted to be on stage, help people, but I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have, that heart feeling that I could do it. But then I was so lucky. One day, one of my friends, she invited me to a seminar. She had 2 tickets, professional speaker training, and she decided to give it to me, one of the tickets. I was so lucky. And after those 3 days, the words, the stories he told, they touched me. It touched me so much that I started to believe I can do this. And I started to believe, everybody can do this. Everybody can learn this. This is a skill that's learnable. If you're just anything near normal, you can learn this. All you got to do is you got to put in the time, read the books, get the training from other people, and most importantly, get out of your comfort zone and get on that stage. Because you can read a lot and you can get a lot of training, but when you're there, that's where the real learning takes place. But so there are different things you can do. But that's a little bit about my journey. Yeah.
So when you said read a lot, I think reading is the most important part of learning and of course teaching. So when we read books, so we can gather the information, we can gather the hurdles that the person whom the book has been written has made or like has faced in the whole life, and how they just turn the obstacles to the opportunity. That was good.
Yeah.
The most important question of our viewers was how much public speaking is most important, or like how much important it plays roles in startup building, in entrepreneurship.
It's a crucial thing because most startups, they need capital, and if you need to have capital raised, you need to be able to speak. You need to be able to tell your story. One thing is you have a great business case. Obviously, you need that because otherwise, the investor's like, I want my money back. But if you don't have the heart in, if you don't have the story in, they might as well go invest in another company. If you see the Dragon's Den or other shows, it's often because the people have a personal story they can relate to. Wow, that was a great story. I see where you're coming from. You want to help these people. So having a great story is crucial. And the people I help, they need to be able to pitch. If they can't pitch, the company will die because they can't attract capital. That's one thing. Obviously, later you also have to sell to your customers. And then you need to be able to speak. You need to be able to share your things. And it's so much more impactful to send a video, just a 1 or 2 minute video, than a long letter. I'm not saying a long letter can't help, can persuade, but if I send somebody, a client, a video, just like 30 seconds, hey, how you doing? Way more impactful than sending a short note. So we need to be able to speak, to sell, to attract the people we want to be around. And you're always in public speaking. You're always. If you're on a date, you're also, speaking. If you're in a job interview, you're also speaking. If you're one-on-one with your friend, you're also speaking. But sometimes it's life or death for your business.
Recent activity was that a startup has a very good product, and they has a very best business case so far we have seen, but they didn't crack that pitch deck. They didn't crack that interview because of the communication gap, because they didn't know exactly how to convey themselves, how to express their brand to themselves, how to express their brand to the market. So I think communication plays is a crucial role in pitching. How much importance do you think that self-branding can make, and how far they can go with the self-branding thing towards the venture capitalist and the fundraisers, and of course towards their goal? What is the crucial role of self-branding and all for them?
Yeah, well, branding is incredibly important because ultimately people don't just buy a product. Take a car like Tesla. That's a brand. Why are people driving the Tesla car? Obviously, it's a great car. It's a nice car. but it's also sending a signal. I care for the environment. So what's the brand you want to do? And yeah, you're also sending a signal. I probably have a lot of money. That's the other thing. So branding is incredibly important. It means, I think, more than people think. And you can create your own brand today. It's not hard. Putting out videos on LinkedIn, on YouTube, positioning yourself, and finding the uniqueness that you have. Don't try to copy everyone else. Be a little bit unique. Have your own systems, your own methodologies. Sure, you don't have to invent everything from scratch, but make a twist so it's slightly different, and you can attract some people and be that brand. Yeah. So don't be afraid to stand out. I think we're too afraid to stand out.
An entrepreneur is an entrepreneur when he's solving any problem of the society with any product, or like an existing product that he twisted so much good that the problem has been solved from 30% to 70%. So we always call them those entrepreneurs. And if we can say that self-branding is most important, like what is the way, what are those procedures that we should follow for, self-branding, and if we can say company, professional and business branding. So what are the exact initial steps we can move forward?
I think it's a lot about being authentic, being yourself, being able to go out and say, you know what, I struggled with this. This was hard for me. I just shared, the personal story about how I didn't believe in myself. And so the way that's a brand, having your own style, having your own energy, just being yourself, your best version. I think that's the number one thing, because we can feel when it's fake. And it's the same when you go on stage. We can feel if you're trying to be a Tony Robbins clone, Brendan Bouchard clone. They are great speakers. I don't want you to be you. I've seen speakers that stand almost still. They're not moving very much. Typically, I would say, loosen up a little bit, use your body. But it worked for that person. He was a great storyteller. Like, he had the whole audience. And with those small, subtle movements, we were there. We saw the person. So that was a brand you can use. And in that case, I would say, it works. Go at it. You don't need to jump around like Tony. For other people, it will work. All right? So really sticking to your core, to your inner, and I think being guided by your heart, what you feel is right. And go where the fear is, really, because that's a great compass. I was too afraid for many years to do that thing. I followed what society told me to do. I followed the advice from my parents, which was well meant, but in the end, we know best for ourselves, I think. Exactly. What we love.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if we follow what we love, you're going to be a brand.
Sorry to say. Actually,
no, but I say if you follow what you love, they're gonna feel that passion, and you're gonna be that brand.
Exactly. You should know the brand, and you should have the confidence of your brand. The simple quoted line is know your product, because when you know your product, so you can sell it, and you can express the exact benefit of that products. Going towards the storytelling part, I think world inclining most toward storytelling and all, because who have that forte, who have that perfect pitch deck of storytelling, I think he got the job, man.
Yeah.
Get it. So what is the main aspect to follow? How can a person can build in public speaking also, and normal speaking, the storytelling parts? How can he just proceed towards that? Because everyone doesn't have that much of credibility and creativity that he should pump up a story in a second of like that, in just a minute of talking. So what is the procedure that he should follow a day-to-day life so that he can have that forte?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And the thing is about storytelling, no matter if you think you aren't telling a story, you are. Our brains are wired for stories. That's how we took information in. That's how it's passed through generations. So our brain is built for stories. And that's why we might as well tell stories, because if we don't tell it in the story format the brain likes, it will change it. It will leave things out. It will take things in. It will change it. So we better tell stories. But a really quick way, if you get a question, stand up and speak about this, and you want to share your story, start with the struggle, the problem, and then share how you came to solve that. Because that's what intrigues us. It's not if I said to you, here are 10 ways to get super fit. Go out and exercise, eat healthy, eat a little bit less. I mean, if you did that, we would all be in killer shape. But I'm sure it wouldn't help very many people. But if I shared a story about maybe how I got to have a running practice, what the obstacles were, what helped me. Maybe it was just put out your shoes in front of the door in the morning. Put your clothes out. It makes it easier to get in the shoes and have that great feeling and just start with a kilometer. And if that's too much, you do the walk and you share how you felt the pain in the winter. And then, 6 months later, the sun is here. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling energized. I'm coming home to my kids and I have so much more energy. I can, be up at night instead of just Netflixing all night. If you can kind of share that, that's way better than just 10 tips how to do it. Although those 10 tips might be very good.
If I can phrase out, I think we have to pinch the emotional part of every person, the emotional
That's
part.
True.
Right.
And emotions is connected to memory. It's in the hippocampus, the part of the brain where we have memory and feelings. That's in that part. And that's why we need to get emotional. Like that speaker seminar I went to for 3 days. I mean, I have notes and I've written down all the tips and tricks, but I don't remember many of them today, but I remember the feeling and I can use that today. Every time, remember, Asger, you can learn this. It's a process. I'm still learning.
So I think the most important part is to connect. And by I can mean the connect, we have to connect emotionally. If we can't connect emotionally, we can't understand each other, because communication is just a part. It's a language. Just a language that I can just speak while standing, I can speak while sitting, but emotionally we can speak through mind, through eyes, through the clarity that exactly that person wants to hear that part. I think you got it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's true. We do business with people we like. If we're really in big trouble, we might, do business with people we don't like, but if you're in a normal, good situation, you do business with people you like, and that. If you could pick between two people, here's somebody that really, he knows everything, but you really don't like the guy, you're not going to go to him. You're going to go to the other guy that's pretty good, that you like, and in the end, you might go to the last guy. But yeah, so connect with people. Yeah.
Exactly. And moving towards the crucial part and crucial question, that if someone has a pitch deck, like he has a good pitch deck and his product is good, so what kind of pitch deck or what kind of presentation he must give? It should have many words, or many feelings, or many presentable skill, or it should have a written or data type of pitch deck, so that they can hit the part. Because we both know that presenting towards investors, we do have only 90 seconds. That's it. In those 90 seconds, we have to make that part, that yes, this is the product that you want, this is the product that you want to invest. So what exactly the presentation should be? The word presentation, or the data driven presentation? What would be?
I would say skip the PowerPoint, first of all, because if you have 90 seconds, that's a super short pitch. You don't need any of that. What you need is a story about a product you have that solves a problem for someone. Take a single person, let's call him Peter. Peter is blah, blah, blah. He is he's slightly overweight. He wants to have more energy, whatever. I have this product and it can do this and this and this. And then you get to the end and yeah, this is pretty innovative. I can see how it's different than other companies, and you might see Peter has tried this and this before, it didn't work. Here's different. So we want to have a personal story about someone, and the story is relatable. And at best, if you can have obviously a client case, because we have two kinds of companies. We have the company that's in the idea phase where you haven't sold anything. That means it's potentially a good idea. And then you have the other part where you have actually sold something. You've proven your concept that it works. So if you're at that stage, share a real story, because it's more credible and you'll get more money that way, because otherwise we're still in the guessing phase.
Well said. Exactly. When you said a product that has an idea, is a fresh idea. It hasn't been turned into product, or bring into the market, and we have a product that already has been eventually evolving in the market, and both are two different aspects. Like when two person that coming, that one have a product, that product is in the idea phase, and the other person has a product that already the product has been built, and that has been running in the market, and of course he is gaining somehow what amount of revenue from it. So we pitch those products. So we have two different pathways of pitching. So I think those two aspects have two different part of speech, because starting the pitch is the most crucial. Initially 2 to 3 seconds we have to connect with the people, because if the connection lost, so I think we have lost the pitch deck. So that's
definitely you got to connect, like you say. And if you can connect, then you might invest even. You're like, the other business case was slightly better, but I really like these people. Because that's also the thing. You got to think about the investors. They want to be able to have a cup of coffee with you. They want to know if they're in the neighborhood. Oh, you know what? I got this company here. Oh, I'll just check up, with Peter and John, how they're doing. If they don't like them, they're like, it's not so much fun to work with them. So they want to have somebody that they can have a good time with. You don't have to be best buddies. But it's got to be nice if they drop by the office and have a meeting. So that is really worth thinking about, being a likable person.
Like I do have 3 people in my LinkedIn connection, for example, and I want to approach them for making a relationship, for making further most beautiful relationship that can share our viewpoints. We can take good thoughts from them, and of course if everything goes in good direction and good path, we can make them a partner, or like we can go and collaborate. So what is the way of connecting with people?
Well, I can ask you this question. Who are your best friends? Your best friends are probably people that are similar to you, maybe have some similar backgrounds, similar struggles. You went through some of the same things. So if you are open about sharing some of your failures, your flaws, not taking yourself too seriously, being okay with that. That doesn't mean you're not a serious person, but being able to be vulnerable, that will connect more than anything else. So when I go on stage, I don't start by sharing how amazing I am, how good I am. I will share some stories about things that went wrong. And then the people will be like, I can recognize that in myself. Exactly. Really? He was there? He was that deep down? He was that scared? He woke up 3 at night before he had to go out and speak to 20 entrepreneurs, and he was paid $60. He was that scared. That was my first speaking job, paid, right? $60. I woke up 3 in the night. Like, maybe they weren't that nervous, but people will connect with it if they have some sort of fear. I'm like, that's a likable person. I kind of like that person because we have something in common. So I would say, share the things you struggle with in life. You take off the armor. You don't try to better yourself, and then later it's much easier to share. What, today it's a bit easier for me because I've done all this, and they can see how much you worked at it. So yeah, I would say that's a great way to connect.
So what will be the connection procedure? Like we have to just send a mail, or like you
mean on LinkedIn, for instance?
An example for in professional aspect only. You've said about the personal aspect, so I'm asking about the professional also.
Yeah, I would say, if I just want to connect with some people, for instance on LinkedIn, that maybe we're not going to do business, but I just kind of want to connect and see where things could go. Exactly. I might just reach out and say, oh, interesting profile, I can see you're doing some interesting things, and we do have a lot in common. I would like to follow you and hopefully learn along the way from your posts. So you kind of elevate them, but you don't elevate them like in a truthful way. You have to find something where you praise them for the truth. If you just say, for instance, to somebody, you look amazing. Yeah, okay, nice, but maybe if I said, you got a killer belt there, man, that looks awesome to that shirt. That's more truthful, because I took the time and I found something, and he's like, the guy's not lying, he really means this, rather than you look amazing. It's kind of a little bit genuine, where it's just flattery. You might mean it, you might not. So find something, specific details that you can praise them on, and you can see the guy took some time actually to look at your profile and know you a little bit, rather than just a generic, hey, great to connect with you. I would say that, yeah.
Exactly, the spending some time for observing, because people always do observe that he just said it out loud, like in a eventual way, or like he actually observed. So the last question is, how can you define a startup and entrepreneur to be of himself, or like what you want the most important spice to be in there, grow their business and grow their product for much better aspect?
I think it's really finding your passion, like discovering why are you doing this? What's the real root cause? So you start with the why. You know, Nietzsche once said, if you know the how, you can bear with almost any how.
Exactly.
And Simon Sinek said pretty much the same thing in his TED talk. Start with why. So when you know your why, you'll go through that. You'll go through those struggles. That's something I think about. I love what I do. I love to help people. But I also sometimes think, you know, the further I get in life, the further I develop my business, the further I improve as a person and grow the person, the more I'll be able to help my kids, because I can share those struggles, those journeys with them, and say, oh, maybe you one day want to start your own business. Here, what I can help them more if I get further. So that I also do think about. So it's not just me, it's not just the people I work with, but actually also I'm helping my kids, my family. Yeah.
Exactly. We do have a slogan like elevate your life and uplift each other by growing.
Yeah.
So I think it's
great.
not the self growth, it's always the growth of your people, of your surroundings, of your society. We do have our incubation and startup partner, My Startup Yatra, and we have a life transformation program partner, Yog Prachar, and I don't know exactly, you heard about Sadhguru. He is pretty much famous. We have our project partner, Greennovators India. We have our media partner, New Sense, and of course our communication and media partner. When we are saying about communications, I kept it for the last, because of course they helped a lot for outreaching and communicating with each and every people with our ideas and reaching our ideas to them. So we have Hamara India Incredible, our education and training partner, Knowledge. So we are quite combined ecosystem and helping each and every entrepreneurs and startup. Welcome on board. Welcome.
Thank you.
To the Early Birds Club, and we will eventually throw this interview on here within a couple of days, and we will have some of the part, like we will have some webinars, and we will eventually invite you in some of our that conferences. Thanks a lot, and thank you so much for giving the time. Take care.
Thank you. I really look forward to working with you and your team.
I think in this burst of pandemic, the pandemic is going on. I think we can send some wish from here, like take care of yourself, take care of your family, and of course we all stay together, stay strong, and we will eventually fight it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.